Hello everyone, welcome to the next video on negative feedback amplifiers, wherein we are going to study specifically with respect to the characteristic input resistance. We had already seen these properties or characteristics in the previous videos. Now it's time to know about increased input impedance. So for input resistance, what we need to know is, just have a look at this particular diagram. Input resistance will definitely lie at the input side. So we are more concerned about the network that is being used at the input side. Okay. So what kind of network is this? At the input side, we can see that it is a series. Okay. And in previous videos, we have studied that if the feedback signal is added to the input in series, then it helps to increase the input resistance. This is what we had seen in the previous video. Okay, irrespective of what is the output. Fine, that is the reason this sampling network is kept as it is. It is not shown in parallel or series. Okay, because we are concerned about input resistance. Fine, and the input resistance with feedback is given as RIF is equal to Vs by II. This is Vs, okay, and this is II. Definitely it is greater than the input resistance Ri without feedback. Let's have a look at this particular diagram. Previous diagram was in series, now it's over here in shunt. Okay, again the same thing. If at all I give the feedback signal in shunt to the input, then it decreases the input resistance. This is what we had studied in the previous videos also. Okay, again irrespective of whichever sampling I use, sampling network is kept as a box only over here. Okay, again over here input resistance with feedback RIF is equal to VI by IS, VI by IS, because IS is your input now. Okay, it is less than the input resistance Ri without feedback. Fine, let us now start, because we have to consider each and every feedback topology. Okay, and we have to derive the expressions for them. Fine, so let us begin. This is the diagram, if at all you all remember, for voltage series feedback, or I can say that voltage amplifier. Okay, the only difference to be noticed over here is here Vf. Okay, you'll remember in the previous diagram there was no Vf, which means that those were just the amplifiers without feedback. Now this is shown with feedback. Okay, now it is voltage series. Let me revise. First term is for output, second term is for input. So output in the form of voltage, so V0. Okay, series is for your input side. So series, which is the source we connect in series? Definitely Vs. Okay, that is your voltage source, so it is connected in series. Now just closely have a look over here. Here there is Vf. Okay, Vf is beta times V0. Now how this came? Here there is a source which is voltage. If this is a voltage source, this also will be a voltage source. So that is the reason you have, if at all you have a Vs over here, here there will be Vf. Okay, this is the first thing. Second thing, it is beta times V0 over here. Okay, it is beta times the output. Output, how it is measured? It is measured as a voltage. So that is the reason it is beta times V0. Fine. Now, what we are measuring in this particular lecture video is that we are just trying to find out RIF, that is input resistance with feedback, which is given as Vs by II. Vs by II. Okay, so let us start. If at all I know that this particular network is just like your Thevenin circuit, we had discussed this before also. Okay, there are two RIs over here, that is RI and RIF. RI is input resistance without feedback, RIF is input resistance with feedback. This RI is given as VI upon II, RIF is given as Vs upon II. This is the basic thing which you will require for all the topologies. Okay, so please keep this in your mind. We shall begin now to derive the expression for input resistance with feedback. So input resistance with feedback is given as RIF is equal to Vs by II, as I told you all. Now, Input resistance meaning I will have to consider the input section first. So let us consider input section and apply KVL in that particular section. So this is the input section. Let me apply KVL. Let me start from Vs. So if at all I start from Vs, current direction is this way. So it is going to be plus Vs minus II Ri minus Vf is equal to 0. Okay. So Vs minus II Ri minus Vf is equal to 0. Rearrange the terms and get me Vs. So it is going to be Vs is equal to II Ri plus Vf. Okay. But what is Vf? Vf is beta times V0. So I am going to substitute that and let me call this particular equation as equation 1. I hope this is clear to you all. Done with the input side. Let's move to the output side now to find out the output voltage, because we know that at the output there is voltage, okay, in this particular configuration. So this is the output circuit. Now I need to find out V0. Where does V0 lie? Over here, okay, across RL. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use voltage divider rule. Okay, so this is your main voltage source. Okay, so your voltage divider rules tells me that V0 is equal to main voltage AVVI multiplied by RL upon R0 plus RL. So that is present over here. Okay. Now let me consider this over here, especially this particular part AV RL upon R0 plus RL. Okay, let me consider this together, because can you all relate this particular equation? See, it is output voltage is equal to gain times input voltage. Okay, so this I can write it as AVLVI. Okay, this red box which you can see, this I can write it as AVLVI, where AVL signifies it is the voltage gain without feedback. Okay, AV stands for voltage gain without feedback, right? AVL also stands for voltage gain without feedback considering RL. Okay, this is without considering RL, this is considering RL. Okay, AVL. Fine. What is VI? Okay, VI is nothing but II into RI. Okay, so AVL II RI. Let me call this equation 2. Now, equation 2 what I have got, V0 is equal to AVL II RI. Equation 1 I have Vs is equal to II Ri plus beta V0. So I can substitute this V0 over here. Okay, so that will be my next step. Okay, these things again, what is AVL, that is mentioned over here. Okay, substituting value of V0, equation 1 and 2, this was equation 1 and this was equation 2. So substitute this V0 over here. So you'll get such huge equation. From this I'll remove II common. Okay, so what will be left out with? You have II Ri plus beta AVL Ri. Fine. So I can take this is multiplied over here, so I can take this on the denominator on the other side. So it will be Vs by I. And what is Vs by I? It is nothing but Rif. Okay. Here I can remove Ri common. So I'll remove Ri common. So this is my input resistance with feedback given as input resistance without feedback multiplied by 1 plus beta AVL. Fine. Okay. So from this equation what do you come to know? We come to know that RIF is directly proportional to 1 plus beta AVL, which means this term is anyways huge. So definitely your RIF will also be huge. That is, your input resistance with feedback is more as compared to that of input resistance without feedback. That's what we conclude with this particular equation. Okay. So these are the things just to tell you the difference between AV and AVL. You can just read. So done with first topology. Let us start with second topology now. Current shunt feedback. Okay. Now for current shunt feedback, again I'll revise. This is for output, this is for input. So output is current. So you can see over here I0. Okay. So output is current. And this is shunt. Shunt is for input. Which source is used in shunt at the input side? Definitely it's a current source. And as I told you all earlier, if at all you are using current source or a voltage source, whichever is the source at the input side, that same source is going to be reflected for your feedback. Okay, so since this is current source, here also there is a current source with IF. Okay, now IF is beta times I naught. Just have a look over here, it is beta times output, and output how do we measure over here? As current. That is the reason it's I naught over here, not V naught. Fine. Again I need to measure RIF, which is Vs by II. Okay, this was the formula. Now as we had done it for voltage series, it was Thevenin's equivalent circuit. Now for current shunt feedback, it is nothing but Norton's, because at the input side as well as the output side you have currents to be measured. Fine. Okay, now we'll consider input section. First we'll consider input section, and input section, what you'll have to use? You'll have to use KCL now. Fine. So KCL, from KCL what do we come to know? This is your main current, IS is equal to II plus IF. This is what you come to know, right? But what is IF? Beta times I naught. So I'll just substitute and call that equation as equation 1. Okay. Let me consider output now. To find out the output current, let me consider the output section. Okay. This is your main current source. So you can use current division rule now. Okay. So if at all I want to find out I naught, it is going to be main current, that is II multiplied by R naught, resistance which is opposite to the ones which I am measuring current through. So it is R naught upon R naught plus RL. Okay. So this is what is being put up over here, II R naught upon R naught plus RL. Again the same way we are going to make use over here like last derivation, that is I naught is equal to, just have a look over here. This is the output parameter, this is the input parameter, and in between there is something. That something is nothing but, see, we are dealing with current amplifier in this particular case. So definitely it is current gain, right? And which is reflected over here by AI. Correct? So I can take this entire term as like how we had taken previously AV, right? Here it is AI. So I can take this entire term as AIL, just like the previous case which was AVL. Why? Because we have considered RL. Okay. AI is without taking into consideration RL. Okay. So AIL will be considering your load resistance. Okay. Let me call this equation 2. I hope this is clear to you all. Now, so I have got I naught. So what I am supposed to do now? Put this equation 2 in equation 1 in place of this I naught. Okay. Where it is mentioning what is AIL. So I'm going to substitute now. These are the two equations which I have. So I'm going to substitute. After substituting, I'm going to get this. Okay. So from this, what I can do is I can remove II common. So I have removed II common, which is 1 plus beta AIL. Okay. Now what is your input resistance? Okay. Input resistance is with feedback is VI upon IS. I think so it is wrongly mentioned on the figure of this particular derivation. Please check and make the changes. It is VI upon IS because IS is your main current source over here. Okay. So RIF is equal to VI upon IS. Now IS I already know over here. Okay. So I am substituting IS over here. Okay. What is VI by II? It is nothing but RI. Okay. So I'm going to substitute RI over here. Fine. That is, it's the input resistance without feedback. So what do I come to know from this particular derivation? For current shunt network, your input resistance with feedback is inversely proportional to 1 plus beta AIL. That is the reason RIF is going to be less as compared to that of RI, because this is the denominator side. Okay. So these conclusions you all need to make after each derivation over here. Fine. I hope these two derivations are clear. This way I won't do all the derivations. Now what you are supposed to do, I'm just going to highlight over here. Task 1, current series feedback. For this particular network, you are supposed to derive the expressions for GML. I've already given the expressions how they will look like. This is what you are supposed to get. Okay, let me just brief you all up about the circuit also I have given you all. Okay, again let me consider this to be output, input. Output is current, so I naught. Input should be in series meaning voltage source. If this is voltage source, then definitely your feedback voltage will come into picture. And if it is Vf is what? Beta times output. What is output? I naught. That is the reason you find I naught over here. Okay, this equation is correct over here. RIF is equal to Vs upon II. Okay, so you are supposed to derive the expression. Same things. First apply KVL in this particular loop. Okay, then second step is find out I naught by using current division rule. Okay, then put to equation 2 in equation 1, you will get the necessary things. Okay, please do take care of the terminologies and don't use your own symbols, use these particular symbols only. Second task for you all is to consider voltage shunt feedback. Okay, I'll just explain you all this particular circuit. Output, input, output should be voltage, so you'll have V0 over here. Input should be in shunt which is the source, current source. Now since this is current source, feedback also will be a current source. So I have which is beta times output. What is output? V0. Okay, I hope this is clear. For voltage shunt network, you'll remember it was trans resistance, that is the reason Rm. For current series, it was Gm. Okay, that is trans conductance. Okay. Now you are supposed to, expressions are given to you all, you are supposed to get these particular expressions. That's it. Ri written over here is correct. Okay, it is RIF. Okay, please make a note over here, it is RIF, not Ri. Okay, because Ri is just Vi upon II. Fine. These are the references. Only one book I referred for this particular part. Thank you.